This you can do. Remember as many times, see when you are traveling by bus, today in Bangalore, most of your time is spent in traffic jam. Actually, you can use this time for study without bothering about picking the textbook. Just think about what you know. See, let us say, oh, I am supposed to know 20 concepts in this. Let me remember what I know. So you don't have to invest a single pay for that, right? And bus fellow, the conductor will not say, why are you thinking about your subject? This is not the classroom, please get out. He doesn't even know what you are thinking, right? Listening to what they are talking, rather than we can use it for a better purpose, right? So the more number of times you remember, the stronger will be your memory. But the problem with us is we don't know what remembering is. There are basically 4 types of remembering. So try to use all of them all the time. So these 4 types are recognition, recall, relearning and reintegration. So recognition is your objective type questions, especially multiple choice is recognition. If you already know, will you get confused with the other choices or will you recognize it properly? So recognizing a friend, I told you, gave the example of recognizing a friend in railway platform where thousands of people are there, you can still recognize your friend, right? So you are recognizing. Recognition. In recall, you are recalling it afresh. So all the essay type questions and fill in the blanks and all, there is no choice given. You have to recall that. Okay. Recall. That is recall. Third is relearning. Relearning works beautifully because, see, first time when you learn, you may have taken a few number of trials to learn. But when you relearn, you don't have to take so many trials. For instance, let us see one example. Almost all of you will have studied nursery rhymes in your nursery, right? Okay. Let us take Mary Had a Little Lamb. All of you have studied? Studying the sense, all of you have Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. All of you know that, right? Now, if you are asked to write the whole poem, you may not remember the whole poem. Only one stanza, 2 stanzas, or first sentence you may remember, right? But in your childhood, you would have taken, let us say, several days to learn that. Because you know the number of times the teacher keeps telling you to tell that. So, twinkle, twinkle, little star, so many times you would have done. Okay? But now you don't need so many trials. 1 or 2 reading, you will get it. Are you following this? This is the advantage in relearn. When you relearn, you are saving the number of trials. Because that much of amount is still in your memory. What is lost is only brought back. So this relearning you can use especially when you are dealing with the same subject. That's why I was referring to you to your high school and your primary school. You have already learned it there. Now you have to relearn it. That's why I told you go back. Okay. Now, do you think relearning percentage now is a difficulty? Yes? No. That time when you learned percentage for the first time, you may have taken several days. Now it takes a few seconds for you to learn percentage. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So that amount of saving. So always try to see if you can relearn it. Relearning is not repetition. Please understand that. Don't repeat. Relearn. Once again learn. Okay? So suppose let us say you have forgotten the formula for percentage. You have to just start relearning by rethinking about what exactly is a percentage. Okay, answer my one question. Is percentage and proportion related?
You can relate actually.
I say they are one and the same. You say it is related, I say it is one and the same. different because nobody told us. Proportion was done in 1 year and percentage was done in another year. We think they are different. They are not. We think they are different because we have not logically connected here. Do that now. I am giving you one clue. Like that, hundreds of things you are studying are interrelated to what we already know. Okay? See, suppose you are studying architecture. Most of the basic mathematical concepts and physics concepts you would have studied in your high school. Same thing now you are applying it. That's all. Relate that. Where did I come across? Do I know this properly? Because at that moment, maturation was not there enough for you to understand its implication. Now you know the implication. Go back and go through the basics and relate them. This will become more meaningful. I'm just giving you an example. So same way other subjects also. Okay, commerce also, whatever you are studying. Right? So this is what we need to do in real life. Then the last is the most powerful memory technique on earth, which is not even talked about. But let me tell you, the whole of our life depends on reintegration. Can you think of when we do reintegration? Especially women use it almost on a regular basis, moment to moment basis. And their reintegrative memory is super vital. For women it's very easy, which is why their memory is very, very strong.
Connecting from one thing to the other.
How?
Interlinking.
How? You do it every day. I'll give you an example. For instance, the moment one friend comes and asks you, where did you buy this dress? What will you say? What a man says and what a woman says are 100% different. Man says, I bought this in MG Road, finished at the end of the conversation. What a woman does is, see, that day, I wanted to go there. So if you are married, you will say, my husband didn't want to come there. My husband said he will come early. See, your husband has nothing to do with you, your dress, but still you reintegrate the whole thing as one unit. Your memory is so strong, in the sense as one unit. Are you following this? So you will reproduce it as one unit. When the other woman is happy if you tell the whole story behind it. If you tell another woman, I bought it in MG Road, that woman will feel, okay, what is this? I asked her a question and she is not even answering. Actually, that's the only answer. Technically, if you ask a woman, she will not give you the answer. She will never say MG Road, she will never come to MG Road. She will tell about all sorts of other things and then this woman doesn't want to know. She asks a question because she wants to know so many details. But these details are the ones which are essential, especially in textbook. All textbook information in a lot of details, they are all connected in some way. If you can remember that as one story, your memory is very strong. So for instance, let us say, how reintegrative memory works, I will give you an example. For instance, let us say you are going on a street. Suddenly, you will hear some screeching noise and then you see one bike fellow will have fallen down like this, another bike fellow will have fallen down like this. Somebody comes and asks you what happened. Do you know what you say? You will say, this fellow was coming very fast from this side. Have you seen? No. That fellow was coming very fast from that side. Have you seen? No. Are you following this? So you are reconstructing your memory. Because you have seen them fallen down, you assume that they must have come from this side because this is fallen on this side, this is fallen on this side. They are facing each other. So you reconstruct saying that this fellow must have come very fast without seeing this fellow. Otherwise they wouldn't have hit. Are you following this? So you are reconstructing the memory and then telling it understandably to another person. You will never say, I heard a sound and two fellows fell down. That's all. Will you say that? So that is how our memory works. This memory is so strong, almost 20 times stronger than the other memory. So all you need to do is take a concept and reintegrate. Make a story out of it. Okay, in my topographic memory program, connective imagery program, I train as to how to make a story. But you can build a story upon it. So take any concept and put all the concepts into one story. Okay. The best thing for you to do is, suppose there is a construct and let us say some 10 concepts. Identify 10 people you know, your friends and relatives. Give them the name of the concept. Put them into one family. Anything that you learn about them, give them that, don't tell them. Give them that characteristic. Take it from me, your memory will be very sharp. The recall will be on the spot. The moment you are asked, you can tell you, because you know that. Okay. This is how our memory works, because we need to reconstruct it. Always this reorganization I will come to at the last time. No information can stay as it is. It has to, the moment it comes here, permutation combination changes. Yes or no? You have to adjust for the permutation combination. You can't take it and then say, I will not change this. Let this be there. If that is the case, this will remain alone. Recalling will be difficult. So you can keep on reconstructing any information that you get to the already existing memory. So that will strengthen your memory. Okay. For instance, let us say I give you a sheet of paper and ask you to write about Hitler. You would have studied Hitler in various contexts. Right? You would have studied him as part of World War. You would have studied him as part of Nazi Germany. You would have studied him as one of the leaders of the world. Are you following this? But can you not integrate all that and then put it as one essay? Yes or no?
Yeah.
That is what reconstructive memory is. So use this to your advantage. Okay, rather than reconstructing all sorts of other things, we can reconstruct from the textbook information and make a story. A story is more remembered rather than individual items. Yes or no? So construct a story. Don't tell the story to anybody, but it's for your benefit. You can remember it only once you have to do, you can remember it for life. Okay?